Do you know what's inside the Pink Panther when it takes off its clothes? Why does it remain the same? The Pink Panther started to take a bath, but soon after, the hot water ran out. He immediately turned the hot water knob all the way up. At that moment, his neighbor Xiaobai also found there was no hot water in his home. Xiaobai started twisting his valve too. The Pink Panther noticed that the valve was moving on its own. The Pink Panther began rummaging through drawers and cabinets. Finally, he pulled out a giant elephant that could blow air. At last, he found what he needed. The next second, Xiaobai, who was twisting his valve, got contorted into a bizarre shape. He bounced around inside the house. In the end, he was launched out the window. Outside, a reporter caught him mid-flight on camera. Xiaobai was mortified. He forgot he was suspended in midair and fell straight to the ground. Xiaobai saw the Pink Panther happily bathing, while his own house was a complete mess. Furious, he stormed back home and ran headlong into a wall. By chance, he discovered the hot water heater setup in Pink Panther's house. He dragged in a refrigerator and hooked its pipes into the cooling system. Unexpectedly, the Pink Panther turned those ice cubes into blueberry smoothies and cheerfully shared them with little yellow duck. Hearing noises next door, Xiaobai fetched a more powerful air conditioner, hooked up the water pipe, and flipped the switch. Suddenly, the Panther's bathroom turned into Antarctica, and all the little penguins came over to pay a visit. The Pink Panther had no choice but to stoke a fire. He watched little yellow duck turn into an ice cube and kept feeding the firewood. Unexpectedly, the flames leapt over into Xiaobai's place and nearly turned him into a kebab. Infuriated, Xiaobai decided he wouldn't bathe anymore. He opened all the taps in his house, so the Pink Panther would have no water either. So he picked up a vacuum and sucked at the shower head. Suddenly, Xiaobai got sucked in. Then the Pink Panther tickled Xiaobai's nose with a feather. Xiaobai sneezed and popped back into his own home. Then an enraged Xiaobai connected a thick pipe to the Pink Panther's water supply and hooked the other end to a fire hydrant. Imagining how miserable the panther would be, he turned the valve on and rode the powerful blast of water right out the door. The Pink Panther used a wooden board to block the leak. The water that couldn't escape flooded into Xiaobai's house. In the next instant, Xiaobai was washed away by the flood, and even his roof wasn't spared. At this point, the Pink Panther watched the torrent gushing next door. He jumped into Xiaobai's bathtub and continued his cheerful bath.